Let me guess. You keep waiting like something is about to happen. Like one day clarity will suddenly arrive and everything inside you will finally click. Like motivation will come back and carry you through the things you keep avoiding, right? Like one good week will somehow repair months or years of hesitation. Like the right person, the right opportunity, or the right season, the right environment, the right mood will finally show up and finally unlock the version of you that you keep imagining, right? Maybe you tell yourself that once things calm down, then you will focus. Or once you feel better, then you will start. Or once life feels more stable, then you will become disciplined. But if you're really honest with yourself, you already know the truth is nobody is coming. And I know that can sound cold at first. It can sound harsh, almost like life is pushing you into a corner. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to hand you confidence before you have earned it. Nobody is coming to carry the responsibility that is yours to carry. But the longer you sit with that truth, the more you realize it is not meant to crush you. It is meant to wake you up. Because the moment you stop waiting for rescue, you get your own power back. You stop looking outside of yourself for the thing that was always going to require your own movement from the inside. That is one of the reasons I make videos like this on my channel. Riova is not built around random motivation that makes you feel like something is happening for 5 minutes and then disappears. The mission here is mastering yourself, realignment, and building a life with more honesty, more discipline, and more awareness and more ownership. Not in a fake, perfect way like so many people out there are preaching you or teaching you. Not in a loud guru way, but in a grounded way. The kind of way where you watch one video and feel seen. Then you want to watch another one and realize there is a pattern in your life you can actually change. So if you're new here, this is the kind of message this channel is built on. It is for the part of you that knows that you are capable of more, but also know that nobody can live that through for you. Because a lot of times you are not actually waiting for help. You're waiting for a life to remove the discomfort of beginning. You're waiting for the path to feel safe before you step on it. You're waiting for certainty before you commit. Or you're waiting for the confidence before you do the things that would actually build that confidence in with you. And that is the trap. You keep thinking readiness comes first and then the action. But most of the time, action comes first and readiness follows that action. You start while you are still unsure. You move while your mind is still loud. You do the first repetition before you feel strong. You write the first page of your book of life before you feel clear enough to even write the first sentence. And through that movement, you start becoming the person you were waiting to feel like. The problem is that waiting can feel strangely comfortable. It gives you a story. It lets you imagine the future without risking anything in the present. It lets you say, I will change when things are better, while avoiding the uncomfortable truth. Things often get better because you change. You get to keep the fantasy alive without confronting the cost of inaction. And the cost is real. Every time you postpone the thing you know matters, something inside you notices it. Every time you break your own word quietly, something inside you loses a little trust. And every time you say tomorrow and then repeat yesterday, your self respect takes a hit. Not in a dramatic way, but slowly, privately, almost silently. You start calling it confusion, or you start saying you do not know what it is wrong with you, right? But sometimes you do know. You know what needs attention, but you keep pushing it away. You know what needs your discipline, but you keep negotiation with yourself. You know what needs structure from you, but you keep drifting. And that split is exhausting. You're carrying two versions of yourself at the same time. The person you say you want to become, and the person who keeps waiting for someone else to do the emotional and heavy lifting. That is why nobody is coming is not necessarily a negative message. It is a clarifying one. It removes the fantasy that life will organize itself while you stay passive. It removes the illusion that one day you will wake up completely differently without changing what you repeatedly do. And it removes the story that the perfect circumstances will finally make you consistent. And when those illusions fall away, energy comes back to you. Because now you are not spending so much power waiting, hoping, imagining, postponing, or negotiating with yourself. Now you can finally build. Not because everything is easy, it will never be easy, but because you have stopped making ease the requirement. And people who stop waiting become different very quickly. Not loud different, not dramatic different, the quiet one. They start handling things. They stop turning every decision into a long internal debate. They send the message. They clean the mess. They start the workout and then they open the document and do the things they want to do, you know? They stop asking every day whether they feel like it and stop treating discipline like a mood that only counts when motivation is high. This is a huge shift, and it's more than it seems like. I mean, it sounds like some random words, right? But this self-respect you are building is not built through thinking alone. It is rebuilt through moments where you prove to yourself that you can move. That is also why I point back so often to other videos in my self-mastery plays. If you are self-trust this week, watch the episodes about breaking your own promises. If distraction keeps owning your attention, watch the one about escaping yourself. If you keep waiting for a perfect reset, watch the one about needing new days instead of a new life. They are not just separate videos on my channel. They are all connected reminders. They are pieces of the same mission. The point is not to consume them like entertainment and then move on unchanged. The point is to let them interrupt your patterns, sharpen your awareness, and push you back into ownership. Because ownership is the whole doorway here. And I know that word can feel heavy. You hear responsibility, and maybe you instantly think pressure, blame, guilt, or some kind of harsh burden. But real responsibility can actually feel like relief. It means you stop handing your future over to unstable things. You stop depending on moods, on luck, or on the perfect timing, on other people to become who you said you wanted to be. You stop living as if your life is on hold until something external gives you permission to move on. You begin carrying what is yours. And strangely, that can feel lighter than waiting ever did. Waiting is heavy because it keeps you split. Responsibility brings you back into one piece. And the hard truth is that your patterns travel with you. If you're undisciplined in one room, you often bring it into the next room. If you avoid discomfort now, you usually avoid it later too. If you do not trust your own words you say today, a new environment alone rarely fixes that. So many people try to move in another country or leave hometown, and it will never fix anything if you don't fix yourself first. You can change cities, can change routines or tools or plans, projects, your aesthetics, everything, and still bring the same avoidance with you. New beginning, the same mind. New goals, same negotiations. New plan, but the same escapes. And after a while, that becomes frustrating because you realize the thing you were trying to outrun has been coming with you the whole time. The problem has been traveling with you. And that realization can either make you bitter or it make you honest. If it makes you bitter, you start thinking nothing works. You doubt yourself, you become cynical, you assume change is not possible for you. But if it makes you honest, everything starts to shift, because then the focus moves away from what is missing around you and back towards what is possible within you. Not in a cheesy way, in a practical way. What can you stop avoiding today? What can you handle today? What can you begin today? What can you stop tolerating today? What is the one decision that would make you respect yourself a little more before the day ends? You do not need to become a completely different person in one emotional weekend. You need one act of ownership right now. One thing that reality respects, one thing that moves from thought into action. Send an email, make the call, start the page, open the file, do the workout, record your first video, turn off the distraction, set the boundaries. Begin the habit you keep talking about and end the one you keep excusing. Pick one thing and handle it today. And yes, that sounds simple, but simple is not the same as easy. The reason you avoid it is not because you do not understand it. The reason you avoid it is because action makes the truth real. As long as something stays in your head, it is still flexible. You can imagine it perfectly. You can talk about it. You can romanticize it. You can say you are preparing. But the moment you act, reality answers. You find out where you are actually at. You find out how much discipline you really have. You find out how much resistance is still there. And that can feel uncomfortable, pretty uncomfortable. But that is also where growth becomes real. Life does not change because you imagine a better version. Life changes when behavior changes. Momentum respects movement, not intention. You can have beautiful intentions and still stay stuck. You can genuinely want more and still repeat the same patterns. You can talk about your future with total sincerity and still not build it. That does not mean your desire is fake. It means desire is not enough. Intention without execution becomes emotional entertainment. It feels productive because it gives you the sensation of progress, but nothing has moved in reality yet. Progress begins when something changes outside your thoughts, when the task is started, when the promise is kept, when the habit is interrupted, when the decision is made, when your life has evidence, not just ideas. And evidence is what you need, not another wave of hype. Not another perfect quote, not another moment where you feel inspired and then disappear into the same loop. Evidence that when something matters, you move. Evidence that your word still has weight. Evidence that you can act without feeling perfect or have perfect feelings in the moment. Their mood doesn't matter. That evidence builds real confidence. The kind that does not need to be loud. The kind that settles inside you because you know what you have done. You know you have shown up before. You know you have faced resistance before. You know one bad day does not own you because you have returned before. Maybe nobody has told you how to move before pressure forces you. Maybe you learned to depend on deadlines or approval or emergency or external consequences. Maybe you only act when the problem gets really, really painful. And if that is true, be honest about it. Because that pattern can look functional from the outside, but it is a weak way to live. It means you are not leading your life, you're being dragged by it. You wait until the deadline is close, the stress is high, or the bill is urgent. Or you wait until the relationship is breaking, the consequences are visible, and only then you finally move. But you do not have to keep living like that. You can become someone who acts from standards instead of stress. That is maturity, not age, not an image, not sounding wise. Maturity is the ability to take ownership before you are forced to it. It is the ability to lead yourself when nobody is watching and nothing dramatic is pushing you. It is starting before panic, preparing before crisis, telling the truth before life corners you, doing what matters before the consequences become painful. That kind of maturity changes everything: your health, your work, your creativity, your relationships, your peace of mind. Because you are no longer waiting for life to become loud enough to make you listen. You start listening early. You start moving early. You start respecting your own future earlier. So ask yourself honestly, where are you still waiting? Where are you acting like something outside of you has to change first? Where are you using timing as an excuse? Where are you waiting for confidence before doing the thing that would build the confidence? Do not ask those questions to shame yourself. Ask them because your life is too important to keep outsourcing it. And remember this clearly: nobody is coming does not mean you have to do everything alone. That would be the wrong message. Support matters, community matters, good people matters, like-minded peoples or mentors or love. Guidance matters. And a strong environment can absolutely have. A channel like this here can help you. These videos here can help you see yourself more clearly and remind you of what you already know. But support is not necessary. And you don't need it to function anyway. It could help you, yes, but someone can encourage you. But even when someone encourages you, they cannot become disciplined for you. Someone can love you, but they cannot heal your avoidance for you. Someone can guide you through the way, but they cannot execute for you. So you still need to take the first step and do the work. Put in the steps. At some point, it always returns to you. And that is actually good news, because if it returns to you, then power returns to you too. You are not trapped waiting for perfect conditions. You're not powerless because motivation is low this week. You're not finished because you have been inconsistent lately. You're not doomed because you have waited too long. As long as it still returns to you, something can still change. And if something can still change, then today still matters. That is the line. Today still matters. Not as a perfect day, not as the day where everything gets fixed, but as the day where you stop waiting and move one thing forward. So use this message probably not as another motivational clip that makes you feel sharp for 10 minutes and then fades. Use it as a line in the sand. A moment where you decide that passive hope is no longer enough. Because once you truly accept that nobody is coming to save you, life gets quieter in a good way. The fantasy drops. The excuses lose some of their charm. The waiting starts looking more expensive than action. And in that quiet, something stronger becomes possible. Self leadership, ownership, momentum, real confidence in yourself. Not because everything is fixed overnight, but you finally stopped asking life to do for you what only you can do. Start here. One decision, one action, one act of ownership before the day ends, and then another tomorrow, and then another after that. Let that become your truth. Let that become your standard. Let that become the new relationship you build with yourself. And if this hits something real in you, do not leave it here like just another thought. Stay with it. Stay with the self mastery playlist somewhere here. Watch the episodes about broken promises if your self trust is weak. Watch the one about needing new days instead of a new life if you keep waiting for the perfect reset. This is what Riova is here for. Not to entertain the version of you that wants to stay the same, but to speak to the version of you that is ready to lead itself. Because support can point the way, but you still have to move.